This is a Crack House Chronicles production.
Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles, your favorite true crime podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man that says driving to work would be so much better if he didn't always end up at work. It's Dale.
Ain't that the damn truth?
It is, man.
Ooh, I can't even talk.
It seems like I just want my vehicle just to keep on going past work and just take me somewhere.
Or like you say, just keep hoping for flames shooting over the hill before you get there.
Yeah, I'm hoping to drive to work one day and just see just a ball of flame coming over the top of the hill and then just turn around and go back home.
Yeah, go back to bed.
That's right.
It is rough getting up at 4 o'clock to have to go do that every day.
It's rough, man.
Yeah, ain't gonna give away money for nothing, I guess.
Yeah. What's going on today, dude?
You know it, same old, same old.
Yeah, same old, same old. Back in the Crack House doing an episode.
That's right.
We got a crazy case, man.
We do. In case you didn't know, same old is a good thing.
It is a good thing.
I don't want nobody saying it's the same old, same old.
That's what we put on the shirt. Same old is a good thing.
It's a good thing, man.
You got any good shout outs? Anybody you want to talk about,
Well,
dude?
we might have a little bit coming in here.
Man,
How about that?
Bill's got that clap.
I do. That's a good thing, too. That kind, anyway. Anyway, we have a brand new Apple Podcast 5-star review, and this comes in from Lindsay G78.
Man.
And it says, appreciate and love the show. I started listening to you guys for the continued coverage you have given to the They Should Agree case. Y'all have done a great job honoring her family and trying to keep her name and story relevant, which we appreciate. Thank you. I have become a big fan. Love that you do smaller cases that have impacted our area and that y'all handle all these cases with respect and fairness while still being very entertaining. Thank you. So we really appreciate that, Lindsay G78, for taking the time to give us a little 5-star and typing up a pretty nice little review.
Yeah, we do appreciate it.
About
If
that.
anybody else wants to be like Lindsay G78, you can go to Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star rate and review. Write something in that box, and we'll give you a big old shout out.
We do, because we appreciate it. Thank you. Since you give us our time, we'll give it right back.
We will. And then people can go to the store page. It's getting cooler weather. Get you a hoodie. Get you something cool to wear.
Long sleeve cool t-shirts.
Yeah, we got them out there.
Yeah, I got a ton.
Yeah, they're on the store page. You can get you one.
Got a brand new shirt up too.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I don't know if we drop out or not, but we got the new shirt with the QR code on the back. And,
Yeah.
I was at a store with my daughters the other day hanging out, and the guy walks up and starts talking to me about the show, and I'm like, oh, cool. He must have seen my shirt, because I'm always representing. And I start telling him about it. He goes, oh, I know. And I'm like, look at him funny, and he pulls up his phone. He had scanned my QR code on my shirt, and I didn't even realize it, and he was checking it out before he was walking up, and he goes, well, I'll be checking you out, and you got a new follower. It's like, so that was cool. So got a little street cred from him, and my daughters thought that was cool. So
Then you got some cred
good
with
stuff,
them,
man.
too.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Oh, yeah. So we got a new follower and a new listener out of that.
Yeah, and I got a new shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, so everybody got something
Yeah,
new.
it's all good.
You got a new podcast and everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
A dang good one.
Oh, man. All right, Dale, after this short break, dude, we're going to get going on this episode.
Let's do it.
Hey, my name is Lee, and my sister Brandy disappeared 16 years ago. This is her choir. This is all we have left of her. We're from the Cleveland County area in North Carolina, but she went missing out of Davie County, and that's around the Mocksville area. And when I tell you that my sister disappeared, I mean she vanished. Just totally vanished. And hold on, because I mean it's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole that no one knows about, no one talks about other than my family, because it seems like nobody else cares. Which is why I'm here. I'm hoping that some people will care enough to maybe put us in the right direction, or maybe we know somebody that will know something. My sister she's missing for 16 years now, and at first it was thought that her ex-husband had murdered her. It wasn't until years later they were able to sweep the house and find that there was no evidence left. His home was luminoled. It was tore up. The floorboards were tore up. This is a very complex case, and there's still detectives working on it to this day. The next theory they had was that my sister was transferred across international lines, and that she was possibly trafficked into sex slavery, things of that nature. That's very grim. There's not very good chances of finding those girls after a certain period of time. 16 years is way beyond that window. The third option was the last person to be seen with her was an unknown male who lived on a lake near Winston-Salem. Very creepy guy. And like I said, there's a rabbit hole to this. So if you want to know more about it, more about the situation and what happened, comment for a part 2, because it gets deep and it gets crazy. And this is my life that we're talking about. This is the life of her daughters, my nieces. This is a person's life, and we have no idea where she is. There is technology called facial recognition, and we know that she was not transferred across international lines because her face was scanned in all 50 states and all airports, all borders. Her face has not been detected at all. Her credit cards, license, social security, nothing has been updated. She has completely vanished. So I need your help, guys. I really need your help. And before this thing lets out, I'm going to show you a flyer again. Hey guys, I'm back for part 2 of what happened to my sister who disappeared 16 years ago. So I guess what I'm going to dive into first is kind of the beginning. We lived in Shelby, North Carolina with my mom and my older sister who was 2 years older than me. My mom was having financial issues, and we had to move to Winston-Salem with my sister and her fiance at the time, who I mentioned before was her husband in the video before. We went to live with my sister, my mom, and my sister that's 2 years older than I. We went to live there. I was only 11 or 12 years old at the time, and I was in 4th grade. So not very old, not really old enough to know or do anything about it. So long story short, we stayed there for a few months, and things got pretty violent between her and her ex. So she ended up moving my sister and I, just my sister and I, out to this remote house out on Bellows Lake. Bellows, I don't know how you say it, in Winston-Salem, which is about 45 minutes away from Mocksville. I'm not 100% on this area because I'm not from there and only lived there for the little bit of time that I was there. But it is 45 minutes from Mocksville. It's very close to Winston-Salem. It's called Bellows Lake. We moved in there very quickly. The place was furnished. The owner was a man by the name of the creepy guy. What his name was, they called him Deacon. I'm not sure if he was a deacon or if that was his first or last name. I have no idea who he was. I just know that he owned the home, and his house was right down the dirt road from the house, and the homes were on a lake. The man was pretty creepy. He was maybe in his late 40s, early 50s, medium build, stocky. Like I said, he went by the name Deacon, and this man Deacon took my sister and I to his home, and this is where it starts to get really, really weird. This man brought us inside his home, and he did not have a wife. And keep in mind, these are things that nobody in the public knows. This is just between the detectives and my family and I. Nobody knows these things. This man took us into his home, and his house, there was a room full of nothing but women's shoes. It looked like a Holocaust museum. There were so many kinds of women's shoes in there. This man told us come in there and pick out whatever we wanted. Shoes, there were purses, there were watches, and these things were used. That's where it starts to get really weird. This man lived in a house by himself on a lake with a room full of women's things. This was supposedly one of the last men to see her alive.
All right, Dale, we are back. And that audio we just heard was from 2 TikToks that Lee Scoggin put on her TikTok account. She is the youngest sister of Brandee Canipe, the one we're talking about today. Yeah. So we're going to dive into this and talk about a little bit more about Brandee and who she was and what's going on with this case, man.
No doubt. And has this guy got a whale in his basement and a dog named Precious? I mean, come on, what's up with all that?
Man. Yeah, that's not creepy at all, is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
Good Lord.
But just a little bit of background on Brandee Canipe. Brandy, she was born Brandee Hope Canipe, and she was born on December the 14th, 1976 in Shelby, North Carolina.
Right here.
Right here in our county. And she was described as a vibrant, free-spirited woman whose life was independence,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
marked by independence. She had some family bonds, and she had a nomadic lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time of her disappearance in May of 2006, she was 29 years old and about 5'7", weighing between 115 and 145 pounds. She had light brown hair, brown eyes, and some distinctive tattoos. One of them was a heart with wings on her right wrist, and another tattoo was a rose with a dagger on her shoulder blade.
Right.
It hadn't been described which shoulder blade it was, but that's the way it's been described.
Correct.
And she was last seen at her residence on U.S. Route 158 in Mocksville, North Carolina. This is a good ways away. It's over in Davie County.
It's about, what, 2 hours, hour and a half?
Hour and a half, 2 hours away. And this case is tough, man. There's a lot of rabbit holes, like Lee said, and we're going to dive into
There's a lot of rabbit holes and not a whole lot of information is the problem.
Yeah, because we've been wanting to do this case for a while.
Yeah, somebody brought it up to us before, and we looked into it a little bit, and we even reached out, I think, to Staley maybe.
Yeah.
Or either that or they told us, I don't know, something, her name came up, and I won't say either way, because, but nothing ever came out to it.
But yeah, there's not a lot of information, still not a lot of information on this.
No.
And we're going to see what we can come up with and get it out there, because this case needs some attention.
Yes, it needs to get some legs and do some going.
Because Lee, the youngest sister of Brandy, she took to TikTok to try to find out what happened to her sister.
And has really got some decent leads. I mean, coming from there, they found out some stuff from TikTok, so it's pretty powerful.
Coming from Lee, yeah. So we're going to get into this.
All right.
But Brandy, she was the oldest of four sisters, like we said, in this close-knit family from Cleveland County, primarily raised in Shelby, in the Shelby area. And described by her youngest sister, Lee, she was bubbly, protective, and assertive. And she would tell you what she thought.
Mm-hmm.
And
Feisty, I'd say.
No, I would say she would be probably pretty feisty. And Brandy, she embodied a free spirit lifestyle from a young age.
Yeah, hippie-ish, I would say.
I would say, yeah. And she left home as a teenager, embracing a transient lifestyle that took her to many places like Myrtle Beach. I think she lived there for a while, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, before returning back to North Carolina. And despite her lifestyle, she maintained ties with her family, often resurfacing after periods of silence to, just to let them know that she was okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty safe to say that she would, go off for a while, and they wouldn't hear anything for maybe a month, maybe 2 months, and then she would pop back up or at least come in so everybody would know she was cool and then everything's fine. Just kind of come in and touch base, per se. Yeah.
Yeah. And Lee, she recalls some pretty fond memories of Brandy. Some of them being, watching some scary movies together, including The Bride of Chucky.
You hear that, Chucky?
Yeah, because we got a Chucky mascot
right
here in the studio. Yeah. And when Lee was just in kindergarten, or dancing around the house with music videos while cleaning, Brandy's independence was a double-edged sword, and it defined her.
Right.
But it was also contributed to the delay in recognizing her absence and her disappearance.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that was a big contributor to that, to the reasoning why it took them so long to say she was missing.
Yep. And Brandy's work history, it reflected some of her mobility. In 2005, she worked at a place here in Shelby called Rhythm and Cues.
Yeah, I think that was in the old Sky City strip mall there, down in, I guess what is now where, down below Planet Fitness.
Yeah, there's a big lots there, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was down on the right-hand end down there. I don't know what's there. It used to be a Sears place or something, but anyway.
Yeah, this was a bar.
Correct.
And in the early 2006, she had taken a job at a place called the Metal Rebel, and it was a bar off Peters Creek Parkway in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And she was employed there for 3 to 4 months before she vanished. And investigators, they later interviewed the bar owner, but no significant leads emerged from looking into that.
Right, but there's a pretty good bit of time between, all that.
Oh, yeah. That's just some of her jobs she'd had and some of the places she'd been.
Right.
Getting into more of Brandee, her personal life was pretty complex and intertwined with her family, Dale. She was married twice, adopting the surnames McClooney and Rackley. So she could be known as Brandee McClooney or Brandee Rackley.
Or Cannipe.
Yeah, at different points in her life. And she also became a mother to 3 children.
Yes.
Daughters Ashley McClooney Perkins and Autumn Sky McClooney Underwood, and she had a son, Riley. And her daughters primarily lived with their grandmother, Janice, who raised them from infancy, while her son, Riley, resided with his father.
Okay.
Now, despite these separations, Brandee remained involved when she could. Cherishing moments of, she'd even sing to her daughters, like the song by Leanne Womack, I Hope You Can Dance. And she'd sing this in the car with them, or when they were going somewhere, or just hanging out at the house.
Yeah, or just washing hair or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff.
And in the months leading up to Brandee's disappearance, her living situation was unstable.
Right.
In 2005, it was at this point she invited her mom and her 2 sisters to stay with her and her boyfriend in Mocksville, North Carolina.
Yeah, I think they were having some kind of financial difficulties at home, and when Brandee heard about this, she stepped up and invited them to come and stay with her. So, tells what kind of person she is. She might have been a nomadic lifestyle person, but she still cared about her family and definitely did what she could to help out.
Yep. But all these people living in the house, I guess some tension built and stuff, and there were some things that had happened because it had been described as Brandee's boyfriend, he got a little bit volatile.
Right.
Yeah. But the mom, she ended up moving out and going back to Shelby.
Right.
And this is when Brandee, she got away from the boyfriend, and she relocated her sisters to what was described as a lake house on Bellows Creek near Winston-Salem.
Right.
Which was about 45 minutes away from this house that she was living in with her boyfriend.
And this is when they meet this Deacon fella that she was talking about in our video.
Yeah, Deacon or Deegan. I'm not sure exactly which one it is.
Correct.
Yeah, but this was on a lake. That's the way it's been described. And this property was owned by this Deegan, and he was an unidentified man who allowed them to stay. And the exact nature of this relationship remains a little bit unclear.
Correct.
And authorities have never located this guy, so it's really undetermined what was going on there.
Now, we did see in an article that come out later that they did go back and they checked and they found the owner of the house now and some previous owners and talked to them, and nothing seemed to be, going on. But I do not know if it was the same fella.
Yeah. But Brandee's sisters that was living with her, their dad had gotten word that they had moved out and moved to this lake house. And he contacted Child Protective Services.
Right.
And he intervened and had the girls come back to him.
Yes.
Come back to Shelby and live with him. So Brandee was living there in this lake house by herself after this. So I think when Child Protective Services came in, they give Brandee the option to let the girls come back without them going and getting the girls.
Yeah.
So there was never a report filed, and there was never an address put in the system.
It looks like it would still be some kind of record.
Something, yeah.
I know it's been said there's not one, but it's hard for me to believe that you could call somebody and they would get involved and not make some kind of note of it.
You think, yeah.
Not a formal as far as setting up a whole case, but then again, it might I don't know. I've never been involved with that stuff, but it just kind of seems like you would have some kind of record somewhere.
A notepad with an address on it?
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
Now, whether it just got wrote it down and threw it away, who knows? But yeah, it just seems like it would be something.
Yeah. But nevertheless, the Brandee sisters, they went back to Shelby to live with their father.
Correct.
And Brandee was there in Mocksville alone. So the weeks before Brandee vanished, they were marked with, the family typical interactions. Lee, who was a 4th grader, last saw her sister in early May of 2006. This is when Brandee came back to Shelby, and Brandee took her to the school bus stop. Mm-hmm. She was driving a 4-door Buick sedan.
Correct.
And she dropped her off at the school bus. They were sitting in the car waiting for the bus.
Now, I did see, before you get into this too deep, on one of her daughters, Ashley, I believe it was, her TikTok thing, she said that when she came back that she was thinking Brandy wanted her two daughters to go with her. And she said, I just had some kind of feeling where I just didn't think, I thought if I left, I would never see my grandparents again.
Oh, wow.
And she said that she just told her she didn't want to go. Now, she said that Autumn Sky would have went because she was a mama's girl. She would have went straight away, but she stayed with me, and she said, I don't know why she stayed with me, but she's the only reason I would make it through all this because they're super tight. So, But anyway, I just thought I'd drop that in.
So Brandy was taking Lee to the school bus stop that morning.
Correct.
In early May of 2006. And she dropped her off, and everything seemed normal. And like I said, Brandy was driving this four-door Buick sedan at the time, which may or may not have been registered in her name. And it's never been fully recovered. And Brandy had no bank accounts, and her lifestyle didn't lead to much of a paper trail, Dale.
Right.
But one potential lead involved a man named Eric, who may have seen Brandy at the Metal Rebel Bar, the one she worked there in Winston-Salem.
Yeah, this is a may or may not have kind of situation.
Yeah. And actually, we've talked to Lee. And Lee actually reached out to me this morning telling me that this Eric with the red truck hadn't been corroborated, this description. So they don't know if it's true or not. It's just...
Didn't you say basically it was the ex said that he had saw them together?
Yes.
So take it for what it's worth.
Yeah. But it hadn't been corroborated, but it's been taken as fact because they did include that part on her missing person flyer.
Right.
So,
well, I'm sure it's a fact it was said.
Yeah.
That's about as far as it goes, according to her.
But the authorities are eager to locate this Eric.
In the red truck.
Yeah, to locate him for questioning. Even though he's not a suspect, they just want to talk to him.
Yeah.
So, Brandy's last confirmed sighting was on May the 6th of 2006 at her Mocksville residence. And after that, she vanished without a trace, Dale.
Yeah.
No calls, no sighting, no financial activity. Her Social Security number showed up no hits after 2006. And her bank accounts, if she had any, were dormant. And her driver's license actually expired in 2008 without any renewal. And tragically, her family didn't report her missing until April the 9th, 2010, nearly 4 years later.
Yeah, well, and that's hard for people to judge on, man, because if, I know that seems like a long time, and it is a long time, but her lifestyle as far as, going here, going there, coming back every now and again just to show up, and back then you don't know if she's talking to another family member and they know where she's at or if she's talking to her, so it's kind of like a thing where they just never said anything. But then there was a tragedy happened that one of her ex-in-laws passed away.
His ex-mother-in-law passed away.
Right.
That she was close to, I think.
Yes, and everybody was expecting her to come to the funeral, but she never showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's when they're like, listen, they were super close. There's no way she would not be here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's when it finally set in that, wait, how long has it been? That's what they're saying, and they go, whoa, that's a really long time. So I think that's when it really set into that she'd been missing for so long and we really need to report this.
Yeah. So, and like you said, it's, one family could think that Brandy's talking to the other family back and forth, and maybe they just assume somebody's in contact with her and they just don't think about it.
Right. But being who she was, it was not unusual. I'm sure 4 years was probably unusual.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like this is somebody you see every day.
But the investigation, it began in 2010 under Reserve Deputy Kyle Shuping. And he noted the 4-year gap had allowed evidence to go stale. That was his words. And in 2012, detectives searched the Mocksville home she shared with her ex-boyfriend. And they went in there and they tore up floorboards and they were looking for stuff. They sprayed luminol everywhere. And the only thing they recovered was 2 pieces of Brandy's jewelry. There's a lot of other stuff there, but they were just the only thing that belonged to Brandy was some jewelry, 2 pieces. And one was a Louis Vuitton necklace and the other was a wedding ring.
Right.
But no signs of foul play.
Yeah, I think they went in and tore this dude's house up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And luminol the whole place, like I said, and this Didn't find anything but those two pieces of jewelry.
Yep. And there was a Captain D.J. Smith who was initially with the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, and he's now with the Sheriff's Office. He highlighted the challenges relying on memories of the Brandy's younger sisters who were preteens at the time to give this information. And they were
But that's all you got.
yeah. And you got volunteer dive teams, including Exploring with Nug. Shout out to Nug.
Shout out Nug, yeah.
Yeah, we talked to Nug on an episode. And also another dive team, Chaos Divers. And they scanned this Bellows Creek in 2021 and 2022, finding unrelated items like boats, tires, but nothing linked to Brandy. So I think like they're trying everything they can, but with that lapse of time, that 4 years, I mean, man.
Yes, he's kind of starting in a hole, man.
Yeah, because you don't know the exact date she went missing or anything.
No.
You know, it'd be interesting to me, you know, if they could search, I don't know, Social Security stuff to see if any withdrawings have been held from her from employers past that Metal Rebel bar.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, it says they did check her Social Security number and IDs for stuff and no activity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Just seems like after that one certain time, it's just nothing.
Yeah. But the case is active with no suspects or persons of interest. And like you said, authorities periodically check her Social Security number and IDs for activity, but there's been no hits.
Nothing.
In recent interviews with past and current owners of the Bellows Creek property, they provided a cooperative leads, though no crime evidence was found. Now we're moving up to just present time.
Okay.
This year, February of 2025. Now the family members, Lee and some of her sisters,
And her mom, I think.
yeah, they provided some DNA samples, buccal swabs, to the sheriff's office.
Right. They called him in to do that, and you'd think they would have done this a lot earlier, but
Yeah. But they called him in just this year.
at least they're doing it, I guess.
Yeah. For some future comparisons. And around the same time that this was going on, Dale, them giving the buccal swabs, parts of Brandy's missing Buick were discovered at the 109 U Pullet Salvage Yard in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
So I wonder how this come up. This part here kind of gets me.
Yeah.
I want to know. I'm going to call somebody and say, how did they find a piece of the car? Like when somebody comes in and they go out in the salvage yard and pull an alternator or pull whatever off of a car. I mean, I'm sure.
Is all that stuff serial
number?
Yeah.
The original, I'm sure. Well, I don't know about small parts, but I know a lot of it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Surely they got a record where they got the car from, don't you think?
Yeah, you'd think.
Because that's what I want to know. And I know there's a U-Pullet somewhere close to here. I think we should look into that.
Yeah, but when they went in for the buccal swabs for the DNA, that's when they told them they found parts of the car.
Right. Well, when she told them, they were looking for that property and they were searching in the wrong place, and then they give them the information they thought because somebody gave them a lead to the address of the house through TikTok. When she passed that on, they went in there acting like they couldn't find it, and that's when the girls and the mother got in the car and drove up there themselves and found it.
Yeah, they found the house themselves.
And then when they gave that information to the police, that's when they kind of told them that they had found a car, and it had been months and months, and they had never even told the family that they found a car.
No, I'd have been pissed.
Oh, livid.
Yeah.
Using her words, the family was livid.
I can imagine.
I mean, but to me, the car thing is very, very interesting because I don't know, how the hell do you just find a piece of the car and you know it's that car?
Yeah.
If you don't have any records, there's got to be something there. Where did the car come from? Who brought it in? Where did you find the car? If nobody brought it in, did they pick it up on the side of the road? Did somebody haul it in? Was it a wreck? Where did the car come from?
Yeah, and just parts.
Right. And I mean, unless somebody come in like a scrapyard kind of person, bringing in parts of a car.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, to me, it just seems like there should be a record of that somewhere of some sort, unless I just don't know anything about junkyards, and I can't say I'm a junkyard connoisseur, so I do not know. But
could somebody just find a car out in the woods and haul it in and say, hey, I want to bring this car in and you can have it for parts or something? I don't know how that works.
Well, I know that happens every day as far as you got a junk car, somebody will buy it, they'll come get it. But I don't know, do you have to have a record? I mean, I know now if you take stuff to a scrapyard, you have to give your name and blah, 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 and all this stuff because of so many people stealing stuff. But I don't know about as far as junk cars, even if it's untitled car.
Yeah.
And if it is, how do they know it was hers?
I don't know how they would know.
This part right here kind of gets me.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this.
Yeah. And we've talked to Lee, and she's agreed to give us some more information.
Okay, cool.
So maybe we can do a follow-up on this.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah. Now, this disappearance has profoundly affected Brandee's family. Her daughters, who are now adults, they grapple with missed milestones like weddings, birthdays, proms.
Everything, dude.
The birth of grandchildren. Yeah. This is
They
what
were just
Sky
young
said.
girls, yeah.
Yeah, the daughter Sky Underwood, that's what she said. Brandee's missed all this stuff. She's missed important parts of our lives. While Ashley Perkins, she said we always hoped that she was coming back. Like Mother's Days especially were painful, and Ashley described them as unpredictable, blending happy memories with depression. But they support each other through the bad days and teach Brandee's grandchildren about her annual birthday, and they even make a cake for her.
Yeah, every year.
Yeah.
Which is very cool.
And Lee, the one we talked about, the one we played the excerpts from her TikTok, she's become very vocal using her TikTok, and she's amassed thousands of views and media attention from NBC and others. And one of her views has got a lot of views.
Right, and it's a big red and been in at OG Lee LEIGH 22.
Okay, cool.
On TikTok.
And we'll put a link to that in our show notes and on our socials too.
Correct.
And the family also maintains a Facebook page. It's called Help Bring Home Brandee Canipe.
And Brandee is BRANDEE. So
yes.
It's a unique spelling. So
yeah. But today, Brandee would be 48 years old, and the Davie County Sheriff's Office and SBI classify her case as active, urging anyone with information to contact them, or if they know anything about this Eric in a red truck, to come forward. But this Captain DJ Smith, he says his department is dedicated to finding out what happened to Brandee after May 2006. And he says we've always followed up on stuff all these years. That's what he told Dateline. And we've never shut the case down and put it aside.
right.
So it sounds like they work in the case, but Lee has said in her TikToks that they have cut her off from telling her anything about the case.
Yeah, because of the media attention.
Yeah.
Is what the reasoning they gave.
But without this media attention, they wouldn't have found the dang house.
That's right.
I mean, Lee took it upon herself to find out what happened to her
She's
sister.
been busting her ass trying to get this done.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the law enforcement there. They need to
Listen, I understand that they can't give out a lot of information on an open case.
Mhm.
But just blatantly telling the family you're cutting them off, don't tell them anything, especially after the debacle with the car where they had found it months before. And basically the reasoning that they said that they didn't give them, they hadn't told them, was because they were busy.
That's what they said.
We're too busy.
We're too busy.
It's been months. How damn busy are you?
Not busy enough. They need to be told something.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of frustrating. I understand it, and I don't even have nothing to do with this, but it's frustrating to me because it's just do better, people. Just do better.
Yeah. Communicate. Talk to people.
Yeah.
But Brandee Hope Canipe does have a Charlie Project page, and getting into that a little bit, it says that she's been missing from Mocksville, North Carolina. She is white. Her date of birth is 12/14/1976, which she'd be 48 years old today. And she went missing at the age of 29.
Right.
She'd be 5'7", and about 140 pounds. She is described as a Caucasian female, light brown hair, brown eyes, and she may use the last names McClooney and or Rackley.
Right.
And like we said before, we're just going to describe this some more. She has a tattoo of a heart with wings on her right wrist and a tattoo of a rose with a dagger on her shoulder.
Right. And she went through the little things, about the ex-boyfriend could be, a suspect, or it could be a reasoning for disappearance. And then she brought up the trafficking thing. And then at first, when we first started checking into this, we're like, I don't know, she's kind of old. Not old. Let me rephrase that. She was, a little bit older than you would think for somebody who basically would be under the trafficking thing, but she looks very young.
Yeah, in her picture,
age.
she looks young for her age.
So it's very, very possible that something like that could have happened. Also, she said stuff about the facial recognition stuff and didn't think that she is out of the country or had been taken through. But if someone was going to be trafficked or that kind of stuff, I don't think they would be going through legal means of taking them out of the country.
No.
Either. So it's possible that it had happened, and then again, they could still be right here doing the same thing to those people.
There's nothing for somebody to be put in the back of a 18-wheeler and carried across the
Right, yeah.
border.
I mean, as far as, voluntarily taking a flight and leaving, then yeah, sure. Or if you were going there yourself or, going with someone on a trip to go somewhere, then fine. You're going through legal means as far as all the legal channels is going through an airport or going through a bus or riding here or going there, whatever. But if it was underhanded stuff, they're not going to do it that way.
No.
They'll throw them on a plane and take them, like a private, whatever they got to do.
Yeah.
Because it's always bad.
But Brandee Canipe was last seen at her residence on US 158 in Mocksville, North Carolina on May the 6th, 2006. And because she was often out of touch with her family for months at a time, they didn't report her missing for almost 4 years later in April 2010.
Right.
So, like we said, there's been no activity on Brandy's Social Security number or bank accounts. And her driver's license expired in 2008 and was never renewed.
Right.
So we just wanted to get this out there to help Lee and her family find out a little bit more about her sister and maybe get some answers or some information from somebody.
Just something.
Yeah.
Even if you don't know if she's still with us or not, but that's besides the point. We just need to find out something and some kind of closure for this family, not knowing anything for almost 20 years.
And if somebody's done something to her, they need to be held accountable.
100%.
Yes.
And I know a couple theories are still speculative as far as a voluntary disappearance due to her lifestyle, but I don't buy that. Could have been an accident, could have been foul play. We don't ever know, but I'm leaning towards some foul play stuff because I don't know. She cherished her family and her kids, so she just wouldn't blow them off and not come back for 20 years.
Yeah, I know. And one of the daughters says they always look around. They go out somewhere. They see if they can spot their mom somewhere in a store or on the road somewhere.
Oh, yeah, especially before they found out they had found a car.
Yeah.
Years ago, and that's what Lee had always said. She'd always look, any time they went to anywhere, shopping center or whatever, looking for that car, checking the parking lots, just desperately trying to find something.
Yeah. But if anybody knows anything on Brandee Hope Canipe, they can contact the Davie County Sheriff's Office at 336-751-5547 or the North Carolina Bureau of Investigation at 800-334-3000. Or they can contact us, or they can message Lee on her TikTok account.
Right.
Something. Let somebody know something, people.
Come on, somebody knows something out there.
All right, that is pretty much the case of Brandee Hope Canipe.
That's all we got, man.
Yeah. And hopefully we can talk to Lee and maybe get some more information and do a follow-up on this.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. All right, bud, we're going to get out of here, man.
All right, let's roll.
We want everyone to be safe. Please, just be careful and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.